Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, Plays a Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus, where I still consider myself to be on an open audition to prove to you that okay, we got Dr. Fetus. MQZSD7ZW. I still consider myself to be on an open audition to prove to you that I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to do the right thing. In Isaac, I'm gonna win. We might not win every game, but we're gonna win like almost every game on quarantine. I can't legally any longer say that we don't lose on quarantine because I believe that the quarantine is still ongoing, but you get the idea. It is a Sunday around the end of April. I hope you're enjoying listening to or watching this video in June. Get it? There's a little joke about the backlog. A little joke about the prodigious length of the backlog. Well, here's the thing. Normally, we were talking about it yesterday. Kate and I were talking about it. Yesterday was my day off. We're like, occasionally I've been feeling like a little bit run down with, not YouTube so much, but streaming on occasion. Not to say I don't love it, but, sometimes you're like, I love it, but also reading pseudo-anonymous feedback about yourself, upwards of 15,000 times a day, depending on the chat activity. It takes a little bit of a cerebral toll on you. And we were like, I wonder why it's a little bit more frustrating than usual. And I realized it's like, oh yeah, I haven't really been like out of the house in, I don't know, like 6 weeks, except for like buying groceries. Normally, and I've said this before, so I hope this doesn't come across as like, I mean, let me put it this way. It's not meant to be a complaint. It's just meant to be an observation. Normally, like... Hold on. I just want to think about where we're going here. Normally, like in normal times, when we're not dealing with, the pandemic stuff, work hard, take one day off a week. But the exchange of taking one day off a week is that, maybe like once every 5 or 6 months, I would take like a week off, and Kate and I would go travel, whether it's, outside of the country or, either to my hometown to see my parents, or even just like, down to Seattle, which is weird to say, maybe depending on where you're from, but getting to another country is actually, in Canada, substantially faster than getting to a different part of your own country sometimes. So there's almost like, there's a little bit of a pressure release valve. You know what? I think we can take this, although our rate of fire is going to be hilarious. Whoa! I don't know if I should have done this. We'll see. No. We're still getting the shots out there at a reasonable pace. So there's like a weekly pressure release valve where I take a day off, and I've talked ad nauseum, as I'm sure you'll agree, that, if you're a content creator or self-employed and, you work 7-day weeks, I can't stress enough, you may not need to take a 2-day weekend. I start to get a little stir-crazy by the end of my day off, I'll admit, which I know sounds ridiculous, but you definitely would benefit from taking a single day. Let me assure you of that one. But then also, like, once every, 6 months or so, twice a year, I get a little bit more time off, so a little bit more of a recharge than I would otherwise have, and I haven't had that recharge in a while. And I think just recognizing it helps out a lot. Now, man, we really have no jump ability here, huh? I kind of do want, Bookworm, but let's see what we get here first. Let's see what we get from our, inevitably, our deal with the devil here. Man, our shot speed is kind of bad now. I didn't think about that negative effect of Eve's Mascara. But yeah, I think just, like, honestly, recognizing that, not that it's been, like, terrible, but just recognizing that made me feel a little bit better. I was like, oh yeah, it's totally, like, within the bounds of normalcy to feel a little, run ragged right now. You haven't really had a disconnect from the internet for quite some time. So I'm feeling good, is really the way to take away the message there. What do you think about this one? I love the luck upgrade. Let's hydrate and think. I think you take both. And it's Spice City, and I don't think we want to take another there. But my thinking is oh so very simple. Bookworm is pretty good, I'll admit. This is a dangerous choice, by the way, but I think it's the right dangerous choice. Bookworm is pretty good. If we can get that, I would, of course, like to. However, I'm also, and I think I'll just get this on the cheap, I'm also looking at the possibility of maybe just this curse room having a guppy in it. And it's admittedly like a bit of a long shot. I'm not going to deny that part of it. You know, maybe we can get 2 more cents somewhere. But I think it's worth giving it a shot, at least. It's worth giving it a shot. We have enough HP to last us for a while, even if we never get another... Whoops. Whoa, the money, though. Even if we never get another guppy item, I think that it obviously was not worth taking, you know, Guppy's hairball and Guppy's paw if we don't get another guppy item, but it's worth the risk, if that makes sense. Because you'll risk. Okay, any stat upgrade would be interesting. I don't know how I feel about that one, to be honest with you. But I'll tell you, I think we would just love to buy another Spirit Heart. And we could kind of fish for a 3-cent one, but let's just stay steady here. Anyway, so I'm feeling good. Yesterday, again, is my day off. What do I do on my day off? I do what I do on, like, every day off. Set some videos, take the opportunity of not having to record to do some editing. I know you're like, that's not a day off, but it's like, it is. Like, to be honest, and if anybody out there listening is a YouTuber, like Indie Mouse, you listening to this one? It's not a, and don't take this the wrong way if you're a community member, but it's less a day off from, like, doing your job, and more like a day off from interfacing with the internet. So, like, unplugging the Ethernet cord from my PC and doing a little editing work is totally fine by me. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Well, dude, I like how it just sucked the shot straight down. Run. Shielded Tears is definitely not good enough. Well, the homing bombs I don't think are as useful as Black Hole for us right now. So I did a little, you know, real, I mean, we'll call it real work for lack of a better word. I did a little real work. I did a little, that's tough. That's a tough choice. I think we're going to stick with Black Hole, though. Did a little, you know, domestic work. Did some cleaning. Took out the garbage. Took out the recycling, etc., etc. And just kind of hung out a lot as well. You know, I did a very common thing for me during these uncertain times. I went to the grocery store and I saw that there was a 50-person-ish lineup in front of it, and I said, nah, that's okay. I got back in my car and went home. Okay, these are big moves. First off, we do have Bookworm. I can't believe the propensity of books that we've seen so far. It's only Bookworm if we take the Book of Sin, though. Are we going to take the Book of Sin? I'm going to take it. There's a little spice. The range down is pretty bad. I actually, like, Sack Dagger is so good, but I just don't think it's good for us right now. I know I sound like a startup CEO talking about unions, but in this case, I think that it's just the honest to goodness truth. So what we have to watch out for here is, that was a good joke, by the way. I hope you appreciated that one. What we have to watch out for here is Bookworm screwing us a little bit. If the bombs, right now it seems like they explode at the same time if they get shot because of Bookworm, which is great. Unfortunately, they might not always, I don't know, maybe they will. So I think we're okay for now. But yeah, we did actually, I mean, I buried the lead on this one for sure, but we did actually go to a different grocery store later that day. We got some barbecuing stuff, did a little barbecuing, it was nice. Made some burgers and some baked potatoes. Now, if only I could, in good conscience, go burgers, baked potatoes, Battlestar Galactica. But I didn't watch any Battlestar Galactica. I haven't watched a lot of TV recently. I watched Tiger King, which, I mean, everybody did. But that was like a month ago at this point. And then I watched this incredibly trashy TLC show from the mid-2000s called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant, which you might not be interested, but as somebody who is, you know, living with a pregnant woman right now, how? It just... And the show starts, and I think I made this exact same joke already, but the show starts in the same way every time. No symptoms, no cravings, no belly. And then every time they give a story, they're like, yeah, my belly was growing, but I just thought it was because I was eating badly. And I did have, you know, terrible cramps and also felt kicks, but I just thought it was gastroenteritis. And I'm like, the show should not be called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. The show should be called I didn't know what pregnancy felt like, but I was pregnant as crap. I don't know why that sounds weird. Pregnant as crap. Pregnant as the S word makes sense, because we've heard it before. Pregnant as crap, you sound like Napoleon Dynamite or something like that. I think we'll just stick with the black hole, honestly. Is doing some decent work for us right now. But yeah, apart from that, just hanging out. Played some more Clank, but I've already talked to you ad nauseum about, well, not ad nauseum, but like just prior to ad nauseum about Clank. Like, you're not at the point where you're nauseum, but you're at the point where you're getting like a little sweaty, and you're like, why am I getting so sweaty? Am I gonna nauseum? No, surely. And then you swallow, and you're like, ooh, that kind of got stuck in my throat. I think I'm about to nauseum. I better go to the toilet. Or the sink if you're a savage. That's pretty much it. You know, relatively low-key sort of day. I'm loath to admit that one of my coping strategies for the quarantine is I did indeed succumb to purchasing NHL 20 on sale on the PlayStation 4 console. Do not fear. I have no interest in Hockey Ultimate Team anymore, and giving EA Sports direct access to my bank account for a 1 in 35 chance to get an 82 overall Ray Ferraro. I've just been playing online versus, and literally, like, there's only two kinds of games in online versus. One of them is I am down 4-0 at the end of the first period. I gotta say, as a kid, I would have rage quit that game in a heartbeat. Because you're just like, what's the point? Now that I'm a little older, I actually appreciate being down 4-0 in a game like that. Because I'm like, you know what? There's no adrenaline pumping here at all. I can just enjoy the relaxation of a guaranteed loss with no expectations. And then the other kind of game is I'm up 4-0 at the end of the first period. And uniformly, that results in a rage quit from the opposite side. And it's about 50-50. I'm not saying, like, I'm dominating all of my games. I think I have, like, 4 wins and 6 losses. So I'm pretty close to even there. But all but one of my wins resulted from a rage quit. I don't know. I don't want to make this, like, a sports game thing, because I know, like, not everybody's into sports games, but if anybody else out there plays NHL, you're gonna love this. I played so much, you know, I didn't play the EA NHL games when I was a teenager. I played the Sega ones, like the, you know, the 2K ones. But, I was, like, pretty good. And all NHL games have the same principle. I think we definitely want this bad boy right here. After you score a goal, they play a replay. You don't have to watch the replay, but both players have to press the button to skip the replay. Here, the classic scumbag move in NHL is you play someone, they always skip your replays and never skip their own. No matter how beautiful your goal is, they hit you with a, I don't want to see that. And no matter how much their goal is just like the classic, like, I did a one-timer and it went in, because, you know, I mean, that is pretty effective in the real NHL, but also, like, the one-timer has just been the classic way to score in NHL video games since, like, 1992. They always watch their own replays, they never watch yours. But there's even, like, an evolved version in NHL 20. There's people who watch only 2 kinds of replays. Their goals and your penalties. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Don't you want to, like, get this game over with? You're up 4-0. I always feel like for some of these people, it's not like a game. It's like it's a psychological mission to, like, demoralize the opponent. So it's not enough for them to just, like, score a goal. It's like, now that I've scored the goal, here comes the psyop portion where I watch the replay as many times as possible. Anyway, it is fun, though. I can't deny it. But I do think that sometimes, like, playing those sorts of games online, I've recognized this within myself as I've gotten older. Playing those games online is like... It's like an Isaac item in some ways. I know it's gonna sound weird, but it has, like, positives and also, like, drawbacks, you know? It's like a damage up, shot speed down or something like that, like we're dealing with right now. So, like, when I'm playing the game, I'm engaged. I'm like, this is a great time. After the game, I'm not angry, but I'm, like, 25% more irritable. Which is honestly why I stopped playing them for a little bit. I hope we must have real red hearts here, so I'm not willing to get too spiced on it, but we'll give it a chance to do something good for us right there. Which is honestly why I stopped playing them for a little while, but, well, one of the reasons why, the other one being, like, you know, if you end up playing, like, the Ultimate Team versions in those games, like, you just are... Well, you got two options. You can either spend a staggering amount of money every single year to ice a competitive team, or, you know, put a competitive team onto the round ball court. I was trying to think of what they call basketball. Hardwood. They call it the hardwood, right? Anyway. Or, alternatively, you know, try to grind free-to-play style, and then, you know, go up against people who weren't afraid to give their wallet up, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, I got, you know, trying to think of a good comparison here that'll make sense, but, like, I got Joel Armia, 83 overall. It took me 12 days of grinding to get him. You got 99 overall Wayne Gretzky on your third line. Anyway, but just the online versus is fun. So it's just been, I haven't played very much, honestly. I mean, you just heard I played like 10 games maybe, but it's a nice little decompressor, and sometimes a compressor, but mostly a nice little decompressor. And that's pretty much my weekend. It was relatively low key, of course, you know, just enjoying life and. You know, I was gonna say as much as possible. That's not really fair. I'm, like, legitimately enjoying life. It's just, sometimes I'm also like, I wish I could go outside. Blank card Joker. We definitely like Rodden Baby. I think we definitely like Gimpy as well because of the luck stat here. And I think, like, we basically cannot be beaten. But I did say basically instead of literally. And, you know, a lot of the heavy lifting in those words comes from what we didn't say. Yo, the speed up is nice, though. Okay. But again, I gotta remind myself, you know, my intention is to be here for the long haul. There's no reason, I mean, I wouldn't bet on it yet, it's very early, but there's no reason this couldn't be an even longer streak than the streak we just had. You know, all we gotta do is, oh, I like seeing the speed. We already know what we got in there. All we gotta do is our best, you know? As long as we do our best, I can't really control how well or how poorly things go. That's my thoughts on the subject. You know, all we can do is influence it. And that's, I mean, it is in the job description, I am an influencer. And Dan and I talked about this on Check the Wire. By the way, let's promote this. If you're not watching Check the Wire, you're missing 60 to 90 minutes weekly of concentrated Dan and NL banter. If you find yourself watching channel updates and enjoying them, the behind-the-scenes angles of what's happening, you should definitely watch Check the Wire, which is like an extended channel update once a week. Now, you might be one of those people who's like, I don't really want that. I just want the, you know, get with the entertainment funny man. I understand that as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to provide a little bit of both. However, how dare you? How dare you hit me? Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody! This could be... Ooh, you know, I think I'm just gonna degauss twice and keep Joker, because we're so fishing for that guppy setup. But, yeah, anyway, watch Check the Wire. Live at noon Pacific time on Dan's stream, twitch.tv/Dan Giesling. VODs available. YouTube.com/Northernlion, Saturday mornings at 3 a.m. I know it's early, but that's the beauty of YouTube. They're there forever, you know? Or at least until the site comes crashing down due to a solar flare or something like that. But, what was I talking about? I totally forgot. Literally just slipped out of my mind there. It's gone. It was a segue into the pitch to watch the podcast. And then I was like, in a moment, we're going to segue back and we're going to talk about something else. Honestly, it has vacated. Can I tell you something? I think it's a very weird thing to say. I think I'm going to miss certain aspects of quarantine when they're gone. And, you know, you know me. There's a little slice of contrarianism inside of me that's always like, everybody thinks this thing sucks. Here's why it's actually great. Everybody thinks this thing's great. Here's why they're not so smart, you know. I've been trying to iron it out. And some of my contrarianness actually just comes from the fact that I do have a different personality than maybe... I don't want to say like I have an above average personality, but I know what I like, and I have a different personality than a lot of people, including a lot of people that work in this industry. So sometimes my opinion looks like it's needlessly contrarian, when actually it's just unusual because I'm an unusual guy who's, you know, eating all his meals over the sink like a rat. In hindsight, we should have just gone for the boss rush, but now we're kind of in for a penny, in for a pound. We might as well just let it ride here, go to the item room. But there's one aspect I'm going to miss. I'll tell you what I'm not going to miss is waiting in line to go into a store. However, after you get over the, 20 minutes you're waiting in line to get into a store, I have never had more pleasant shopping experiences than I have over the course of the past, 3 weeks or so. Originally, like when this stuff first got started and people would, punch you in the face to try to get the last toilet paper, that's a bit of a different story. But now, you wait outside for 15 minutes. That sucks. You look at your phone for a bit. You go inside of the store, wide open aisles. People give you a wide berth. It's very nice. Sorry, I felt a sneeze percolating there. It's been such a book-driven run. The amount of books we've got is just staggering here. I'm not saying we should go back to the velvet rope when this whole thing's over, but I'm just saying it's not all bad, baby. That might be helpful for us. There's been some silver linings. Now, if you give me the choice, I would much rather not wait in line and then get out of the grocery store in 20 minutes instead of waiting 20 minutes shopping for 15 and then leaving. But you get the idea. You gotta take the good where you can find it, you know what I mean? Okay, hold up. I'm not displeased by our damage. I'm noticing though, Deadshot doesn't really do that much for us. So you know what? Getting Steve in there feels quite nice. I bet on the wrong door opening there. There we go. Okay. So we've already seen the deal with the devil. Blank card Yera is really admittedly good, but I'm hoping we could just get Yera later, because I think the Joker is still pretty useful. Curse of the Blind. Very spicy. It's a very spicy situation. I will definitely take one. Because this is Dark Bum, I think we can take the other one. And it actually... So I don't know if I would recommend it. But I cannot deny that it totally worked. That's incredible. Okay. In fact, we got two items. I would consider both of them very good. Especially, like, Dark Bum might not seem that amazing so far, but it does come with the fact that we already have Gimpy as well. So I think we're gonna generate a lot off of that. So it's pretty much unlosable. And it might have already been pretty much unlosable from the start here, because we started with Dr. Fetus. Man, remember, like, the answer to this is probably no. I don't know how much people remember of Flash Isaac to begin with. But remember in Flash Isaac, Dr. Fetus was kind of poo-poo. It's come a long way. From the hard times to the good. Nothing. Alright. Well, hold on. We've already been to the deal with the devil on this floor. Now, if you wanted to give me that Yera rune, I'm not saying it has to happen, like, right away. But if you wanted to give me a Yera rune, it's like a really good time. Like, what do you get for the man who has everything? You get him the ability to double his stuff on occasion. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about Isaac. I think this is maybe, honestly, the best I have ever felt about Isaac after a loss of a streak. Which is a testament to the community. It's a testament to me. I'm not trying to be braggadocious, but you know. Realizing that I'm the same guy who won the runs, not merely the same guy who lost the runs, is psychologically beneficial. I'm just gonna leave that half heart there for now. And also recognizing that if we do the little things right, we got every available chance to succeed. You know, and finally, they'll be calling me Northern Little Things Lion for something other than the size of my... Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, yeah. I do have one complaint, though, about the current, well, I mean, I have many complaints about the pandemic ravaging the Earth right now. Can I tell you? I've lost a lot of respect for movie studios. I understand. Look, I've never invested $100 million into a media project. I understand that it's a business as well as entertainment. But it's been like 2 months. All the movies that are being delayed, if it's still in production, who cares? But if it's like, it was ready to go for like, you know, April 15th, and then the pandemic stuff's going on, come on, release that April 15th. I get it, don't get me wrong, it sucks. But at the same time, or it's scary, but at the same time, I'm bored. It's really what it comes down to. We sadly cannot take Incubus here. I think is way too scary. A theme is interesting, but let's just not say we did. And in a way, I kind of feel like I know I talked about it, you know, a month and a half ago when this started. But Universal Studios, or the studio known as Universal, not the theme park, released a couple of movies like to rent that should have gone to theaters, but because of the Corona stuff, they didn't, obviously. And I'm like, I get that the numbers for those movies were probably like not that great on quote-unquote home video instead of I'm just trying to think, maybe we'd let's roll this as one more deal with the devil. We're fine anyway. Like, we'll get one more deal with the devil as a result. Actually, 2 more deals with the devil as a result of the Joker card. The Gaz is great, don't get me wrong, but do we really need another Spirit Heart right now? Probably not. I get that, you know, Emma and the Invisible Man, you know, probably didn't do as well on digital rental release as maybe they would have expected in order to encourage more studios to follow suit. But have you considered at the same time that the movies you released for home video are Emma and the Invisible Man? Like, the Invisible Man, I'm not saying anything about the quality of either of those movies. The Invisible Man, it's a horror movie. It stars Elizabeth Moss. People will go see that in theaters, you know. I would say that has like a 3 to 4 out of 10 theater appeal for people. But Emma is like, that's in like the 1 to 2 out of 10. I'm not saying it's a 0, but you know, if like you know, a Marvel movie or Avatar or something like that is a 10, I mean, we're dealing with a logarithmic scale here. All I'm asking is for you to take like I was gonna say a real project, but a project that you were expecting to open to like 50 mil, put that out on digital release and see if it motivates people. People got Disney Plus just to watch The Mandalorian. What if you put out the new Christopher Nolan movie? What if this is still going on in like July, August, and you put out Tenet on home video release? I just want you to do it. So that I can, you know, stave off a little bit more boredom. But here's the thing, I'm sick of watching movies that are old. I want to watch movies that are new. Even if the old movies, I haven't seen them anymore. Or I haven't seen them before. It is a weird psychological thing, right? Like, I watched... It's actually a very good movie called Thoroughbreds that I watched on TV yesterday. Half and half while I was having a phone conversation with my mom, and I was like, this movie's really good. But at the same time, it was like an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10. But at the same time, if you were like, hey, do you want to watch an 8 out of 10 movie that came out last summer, or a 5 out of 10 movie that comes out this Friday, I'd be like, dude, give me that 5 out of 10 movie from this Friday. I don't know what it is, but something about the novelty of watching something, you know, being amongst the first to watch something, raises the value of watching that thing by like 2 or 3 points, I think. And there's definitely, it hits a point where it comes out the other side, you know, where you're like, oh, this movie, you know, came out in like 1973, so I'm getting something emergent out of it by watching it now in 2020 as well. Can I tell you, I almost said 2018. That's what happens when you get old enough that, you get offended when asked to verify your age to watch like a game trailer. I downloaded the new Call of Duty today because we're doing it for Golden Goblet and Team Unity stuff. And when I went to download it, it was like, first put in your age. And I was like, really? You're still doing this? I just get offended now because, you know, I have to do 1 or 2 full revolutions of my scroll wheel to find the year that I was born. When I was 18, it was like a novelty. It was like, ooh, I'm finally answering one of these honestly. Now I'm like, sometimes, like, what's weird, there's a joke in here. You could punch this up, but for now, let's just get the nugget of the punchline out there. It's like when you're young, you lie on those to make yourself seem older. And when you're old, you lie on those to make yourself seem younger. Not so that you actually appear to be younger, but so you have to do less work scrolling down. Like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's me. 1995. Mostly, though, can I tell you, I just get annoyed. I understand it's probably a legal requirement, but I get annoyed on Steam or on, you know, like the Blizzard app, which I still am trying not to call Battle.net, but I get annoyed because it's asking me to verify my age, and I'm like, this is like the 3rd Call of Duty I got on here. You know my age. You've got all my payment information, you know. Come on, don't be ridiculous. Yeah, we're not legally allowed to access it? Yeah, okay, sure. I bet. We'll see what happens when, you know, your database gets leaked and you got all of our, like, social security numbers as your primary key. That's a little database administrator joke for you. That's one for all my DBAs out there. Let's have a toast for the admins. Let's have a toast for the power users. Let's have a toast for the sysadmins. You get the idea. I had to stop because there's only one word that rhymes with user, and it's not very flattering. Okay, I don't think we want Tech 2. I think we're happy with our damage. Not happy enough that we wouldn't, you know, try something like this on for size, but... Okay, get me out of here. This run was never in doubt. That much is certain. But I'm still happy to see it come to a logical and positive conclusion for us. You know what I'm realizing? I think the finger plus dark matter is like long distance fear shots. That's really nice, actually. We got a good thing going here. It's always weird to try to inject character into an Isaac run that starts with an item as powerful as Dr. Fetus, but I thought we did okay here. We took risks. You know, never forget that I didn't have to take that first deal with the devil. I took that first deal with the devil to try to get a little bit spicy in honor of you. Okay, let's get super spicy. Pop these bad boys down, and then just stay away. Yo, poison bombs. I think someone could do, like, a statistical analysis on the prevalence of bomb items on the chest. I always feel like when we're on the chest, we get way more bomb items. Well, let me rephrase for maximum specificity. I think we get a much higher proportion of bomb-related items on the chest than we do anywhere else in the game. Now, you have to adjust that. I know, you're like, oh my god, he's taking a statistics class. We just get way more items on the chest in general, but I still think the average expected yield of an item pedestal in the chest is more likely to be a bomb on the chest than anywhere else in the run. Except, of course, the boss fights that give you bomb-related items specifically. How's that? How's that, okay? Did I get my internet degree for noticing every possible statistical problem with what I'm saying? How do you feel about that? I think we've couched our expectations appropriately. Let me out. Don't blow up in my face. When you threw it all away, just like you did to me. You know that? I think that's Puddle of Mud. I can't remember. There's a lot of songs from my teenage and adolescent years that I'm like, is that Trapped or Puddle of Mud or Default or you know, SR71 or Papa Roach, or there was a lot of, like, you know, a lot of similarities. Is that Cold? Did Cold make that one? No, not Coldplay. I'm talking about Cold. Son of something, 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 stupid girl. You know that one? Maybe not. Maybe if you weren't alive in 2001. Or at least listening to great music. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. These Isaac episodes, I've mentioned it in other stuff. I gotta ask for the likes. I know not everybody's likes having something set like an internal goal or an external goal, I guess. That's like, hey, let's get to 2,000 likes. I gotta play YouTube's game. I appreciate if you watched it all the way through. Click the like button. I think we can get these to 2K easy. And that's a vote for the YouTube algorithm saying, hey, YouTube, this guy's cool. Show his videos to more people. We all grow together, and we have fun as a result. So if you enjoyed it, click the like button. Single best way to help me out. Subscribe. We did hit that first Smash milestone. The videos probably already come out, but we're going to be playing some Smash this week on my end. And of course, leave a comment. I'll be in the comments saying hello and pog. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.